One of the most difficult times of my life was for sure my early 20s, where I was trying to figure out what the point of life was. I was trying to figure out my career. I was trying to figure out who I wanted to become. I was trying to figure out health, wealth, happiness, love, purpose. Why do all this stuff? Why get a 9-to-5 job? And it was during this time that I found myself really feeling lost in life. I'd moved multiple cities. I had changed multiple jobs. I moved back in with my parents, back out of my parents. I moved to China on a one-way ticket. And in general, I was trying to figure out what the point of everything was, and I felt lost. Well, in this video, I want to share 3 of the most important insights I had on if you feel lost in life, what you should do to find your way and feel like your life has purpose and direction. What's up guys, Alex Hine, author of the book Master the Day. Now, one of the best ways for figuring out direction in life is through journaling. So the first link in the description, I've included a free journaling worksheet that will help you get your life together and figure out and plot a direction that you can go in to help live a better life with clear direction. So check out the first link in the description and that'll help you plot that path forward. So my first insight that I think is the most important is that everyone else in your life is going to give you advice on what they think to be true for you, but only you know how you feel. So Kyle Cease has this great skit where he talks about what if Michael Jackson or Oprah ended up staying at their day jobs because they were too afraid to follow their gut and intuition. Where Michael Jackson, I think, was working at like Jack in the Box, like a fast food place, or Applebee's. And imagine if he was like, no, I become a musician? That's whack. Like, why would I do that? That's so high risk. Nobody makes it. That's like 1 in a million. And Michael Jackson would have been a manager at Applebee's still, as opposed to the icon he is today because he fulfilled his purpose and his destiny by following his gifts. Now, imagine if you, and you do, have this gift. You may not know what it is yet, and yet you're working at Jack in the Box, you're working at McDonald's, you're working at Starbucks, and you decide to be afraid because your mom or dad told you, little Jimmy, you should become a doctor like I said. Forget Starbucks, just become a doctor. Then you'll be successful. And yet, all along, you could have been the greatest artist that ever lived, the greatest pianist, the greatest doctor who really loves medicine, and not someone who does it to be safe and secure. The reality is that only you know your intuition. Only you know what you think your gifts are, what you're naturally interested in and inclined towards. Only you know what is pulling on your heartstrings. And that is what you should follow. Because sometimes your parents, your doctor, your advisors, your teachers, your friends, everyone is wrong. And you have to listen to yourself. And if their advice doesn't follow and line up with your intuition, ignore their advice. Ignore their advice and follow what you feel is your own destiny. The second piece of advice is to remember that most other people, including your parents and advisors and family and doctors and teachers, they haven't figured out their own lives. So be very careful of whose advice you take if they have not done it in their own life. You wouldn't take relationship advice from someone with 3 divorces, would you? Would you take financial advice from someone who has horrible spending habits and is always in debt? Probably not. So why would you take life advice from someone that's an adult, but they themselves have not figured out their purpose? They themselves don't do work they love. They themselves don't have that excited feeling about them when they talk about their work and their life. Why would you take their advice? The reality is that most people have not figured out their own lives. Therefore, you should not take their advice on you figuring out your own. There are so many people in this world that will give you advice on your life when they don't even know that for themselves. They haven't thought about it. They haven't struggled through it. They haven't been brave and made the hard decision rather than the safe, easy decision. They didn't go after their own purpose and destiny. They probably did what was safe because they were afraid. They had a hard time being brave, and they had a hard time making the right decision by following their gut. And so you're going to get someone who always played it safe, giving you advice on how do you live a brave life. And that is a mistake. That is someone who's a spectator outside the arena giving advice to a gladiator who's bleeding in the arena, but ultimately will get all the glory. My last piece of advice is that most people want to be safe, secure, normal, and not stir up too much shit in their life, as opposed to happy, fulfilled, and self-actualized. So the reality is that most people will play it safe because they're afraid. There's almost no other reason. They're afraid of something, afraid of losing something, losing the respect of friends, family, and peers, losing money, and therefore XYZ happens. Most people want to bleed in. They want to blend in, they want to feel safe, they don't want to feel different or ostracized. And so we get this culture where everyone wants to keep up with the Joneses because no one can deal with failure. And no one can deal with feeling different. No one can deal with feeling ostracized, being that one kid who's the artist in a family full of achievers. And that's exactly the wrong thing to do. The wrong thing is trying to be liked. The wrong thing is trying to fit in. The wrong thing is trying to feel like everyone else around you. That is death by 1,000,000 cuts, by 1,000 cuts, because then you've sacrificed yourself, your own soul, your intuition, your gifts, what you feel you are born to do. You sacrifice that to try to please a world which is already full of people that aren't doing that in their own lives. So no matter what you do in terms of feeling unlost in your life, this video I think is very important because I want to urge you to not let the world and what people say and your teachers and mentors and your parents, don't let that drown out your intuition and your gut and your instinct, which already somehow knows what you want to become and what you are destined to become. When you follow that thing you feel and you work hard and you work smart and you're brave because you have to make tough calls by being different. When you follow that, of course there's going to be difficulties. But what's even more guaranteed is that you're going to build such an incredible life, such an unusual, inspiring, successful, fulfilling life that everyone else will be wondering what gift it is you've been divinely appointed. But the thing was, you followed your intuition, you were brave, and you made the hard decision to always follow your gut and be the exception to the rule and not follow the norm and the conventions of society. And as a result, you will have become the kind of person you are destined to be. And that is one of the best feelings in life you can possibly have. So when it comes to feeling lost in life, be brave, follow your gut, and make the hard call, even if no one thinks you're doing the right thing. And you will guaranteed build an absolutely amazing, fulfilling life filled with direction. So I hope that helps you guys. Of course, one of my regular impassioned rants, but it's very difficult when you don't have self-esteem and you don't know what you're doing to feel confident in what you're doing. But if you follow your gut, you're going to make the right decision. Now, of course, if you want help doing that, I highly recommend journaling. The first link in the description is for a free journaling worksheet that's going to help you get your life together and plot out your mission and your next steps to help make that dream a reality. So check the link in the description there below, download that free worksheet, and then come check out my last related video on this topic right there and right there.